Alright, so this video that you're going to see right now is a Facebook Live that I did earlier today, talking about the cop in Mesa, Arizona who was found not guilty of murder. He shot a unarmed white kid in a hotel as they were responding to a gun call. The first bit is going to be my rant, where I was a little irritated about some of the stuff that I've been seeing on social media about it, and the last bit I'm actually going to go through the footage, the camera footage that the cop had of the whole situation. It's got the audio and everything, so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about in this video, and I hope that I can get through to some of you guys. But I'm sorry, this cop was 100% justified in this shooting, and I just hope that you guys actually hear me out and look at it a little bit objectively instead of acting like liberals and letting your emotions just take over everything. Thanks. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into this, and I'm not gonna wait for people to come on. I'm gonna start off talking a little bit about how people are starting to lose their minds about this whole verdict that happened down in Arizona. They're saying that the cop murdered Shaver and that he definitely should fry and all of this fun stuff. Now, this is why it's pissing me off, because people on the right are acting exactly like liberals. They're acting exactly like Black Lives Matter, and it needs to stop. And let me explain why. So, here's the whole story for those of you who don't know. Police were called to a hotel in Mesa, Arizona. The report was that there was somebody pointing a gun out of a window. Cops show up, two people come out, cops are yelling at them to, get on the ground, so on and so forth, right? They're giving them commands. Now, it was a kid and a girl. They both hit the ground. The kid's having a hard time complying. However, the girl, they get on the ground, they cross their legs, they put their hands, where they need to go, and they have the girl get up and crawl towards the cops. She does it, it's okay. The cops tell the kid to get up on it, keep his legs crossed, get up on his knees, and put his hands up. The kid sits up, uncrosses his legs. The cops yell at him to cross his legs again. He does it, and then he puts his hands behind his back. The cops yell at him to put his hands in the air and stop putting his hands behind his back. And it takes a little bit, but the kid finally does it. And then the cops sit there and they tell the kid, finally, to start crawling towards him. The kid starts crawling towards him, and the cop's warning him. The cop's telling him over and over again to comply, to listen, to pay attention. Warns him even that if he doesn't do it, if he puts his hands behind his back again, he's going to get shot. So as the kid's crawling, the kid puts his hand back behind him again. He puts his hand right here again, and the cop shoots him. Now, if you don't already understand just by hearing the story, and if you've watched the video, go watch the video if you haven't watched it. But if you don't understand how that's a justified shoot just by that, then what is wrong with you? They got called for a gun. They told the kid to stop reaching behind him. The kid reached behind his back as he was crawling towards him. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that whatsoever. There's no reason for the kid to be crawling and then do this. None. None at all. They're called for a gun. They don't know if the kid has a gun or not. So the kid was told to not reach behind his back. All you got to do is crawl forwards. And I really don't want to bring the whole race card into this, but all conservatives and all people on the right have ever said before is, well, all you got to do is comply. If the black guy would have just listened to the cop, he wouldn't die. He wouldn't have died. That's our biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that we ever say is comply or die. But yet, all of a sudden, here's this white kid who didn't comply. He flat out didn't comply. He was told he was going to get shot if he put his hand behind his back, and he put his hand behind his back and he got shot. This isn't a mystery. This isn't a murder. This is you didn't listen to me. You put my life in danger. So here's the other bit behind that, okay? So many people are sitting there and they're throwing out their opinions. They're throwing out their idea that, you know, no matter what, this was not a justified shoot. If you've never been in that situation, if you've never been in a shoot or don't shoot situation before ever in your life, you don't get to have an opinion on this. You really don't. And this goes for all of them. This goes for every instance that this has ever happened. Yes, we can sit there, we can look at the tapes, and we can come up with some sort of an opinion, but you don't know what's going through that cop's mind. You don't know what it's like to sit there and go, this guy might have a gun. This guy might have a knife. This guy might have something that can kill me. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure that I get home to my family. I'm going to make sure that me or my partners or the people who are around me or the innocent civilians around me don't die. So I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure that doesn't happen. And if I get called to a hotel where a gun is being pointed out of a window and there's a kid who's sitting there and he keeps putting his hand behind his back, he could have a gun. He didn't have a gun. He ended up not having a gun. Yeah, sure. But the cop didn't know that. How come cops have to be psychic? How come cops are required and expected to know everything, to know the future? Because do you know what the future is? Do you know what the future holds? No. Do you know that the guy sitting next to you has a gun or doesn't have a gun? You don't know. Neither did the cop. All the cop knew is that he told the guy not to put his hand behind his back. That's what he told him. What did the guy do? He put his hands behind his back. Huh! Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This isn't a hard concept. Stop being hypocrites. Stop sitting there and going, well, you know, I mean, if that guy would have listened, if that guy would have done exactly what the cop said, then he wouldn't have died. Guess what, guys? It's a white kid. He still has to comply. He still has to listen. Now, I've been called a bootlicker. I've been called all sorts of wonderful things today because I've been sitting here defending this cop. Check it out. I'm fully aware that there are bad cops out there and there have been some stupid things that have been done, and I'm very sure that I'm fully aware that cops have shot people who definitely shouldn't have been shot, like the black guy who was sitting on the street. He was laying down on the street with his hands totally sprawled out, and the cops, you know, put him down. Yeah. Or even like the white kid in down in California, I forgot what city, where he sat there and got out of the car, laid down on the ground, and the cops, you know, shot him a couple times. Like, yeah. There are very few times, and there are some times where cops do the wrong thing. And like that chick cop who sat there and emptied her gun into the car because she got scared, even though there was nothing to be scared of. But guess what, guys? There are a lot of cases, a ton of cases out there where the cops were 100% justified when they put somebody in the ground. And this is definitely one of them. Absolutely one of them. Comply or die, comply or die, comply or die. It's really not a hard concept. And this is something that we've been saying all the time. And no, this cop did not handle the situation improperly whatsoever. He gave distinct and direct orders. The kid was crawling towards him and put his hand back behind him. This isn't rocket science. This is not rocket science. And you can sit there and try to say that this guy is unjustified. But there's nothing wrong about this. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong about it at all. The video is very clear. You're called for a gunshot. You're called for a gun. Dude keeps reaching behind him. Shoot him. You shoot him. Because if you've never been in a shoot or don't shoot situation, you don't get to have an opinion. Okay? I've been in that situation. And fortunately, I didn't die. And fortunately, also, I didn't have to shoot the guy. But you don't, if you want to take that risk, you go ahead. You want to take that risk, perfectly fine. But here's the thing. Just last weekend before, we were sitting there on an overpass. Guy comes rolling by, he pulls a gun. Okay? I was behind him. I didn't have an opportunity to pull mine and shoot his ass. But if anybody else who was standing right in front of him, you know, didn't do that, didn't shoot him, and they had a gun, that's on you when you got shot. All right? Because the gun was hanging out the window. Yes, total, you know, stupid douchebag gangster style. But all you had to do was pull that trigger and somebody could have died. You don't take the chance. It's you or him. And I'm sorry, but it's always going to be him. There's no reason why that dude could have kept on driving. Okay? Me personally, if I was up there, I mean, my hand was on my gun the entire time he rolled by me. And he was probably, 50 yards past me when he pulled the gun out? All right? I was ready. Anybody else? I mean, when he drove by the first time, he sat there and swerved towards us, so obviously he wasn't a friend. And I was sitting there talking to I think it was Quincy, and I said, hey, if the guy's window's rolled down, you got to be careful. And his window was rolled down, so I was ready. What about the rest of you guys who were standing there? Okay? You don't take the chance. You don't take the chance that somebody might have a gun who might kill you. You shoot them first. It's really, really simple. It's not a hard concept, and it's really pissing me off that so many people are sitting there and trying to say that this cop was in the wrong. Because he wasn't. It's life or death, especially when you're a cop. And fun fact too, cops are under a lot more scrutiny than you are as a civilian. A civilian can get away with a lot more when it comes to defending his life than a cop can. And really, I mean, that's really all I got to say on this. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off. No, this isn't a troll, and I'm 100% serious. And if you really do think that this cop should fry, then just stop. Just stop. Stop following me, because you obviously have absolutely zero common sense whatsoever. The moral of the story is very, very simple. Him or me. And the unknown. Period. That's just exactly how it is. So take from that as you wish.
Lay on the ground, both of you. Lay down on the ground. Lay down on the ground. Who else is in the room?
Nobody.
Nobody else is in the room? Are you
Nobody.
positive?
Nobody. Absolutely positive.
Okay. Since apparently we have a failure for you to comprehend simple instructions, I'm going to go over some of them again, okay? Can you both hear and understand me?
Yes.
All right. If you make a mistake, another mistake, there is a very severe possibility you're both going to get shot. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I do.
All right. Right there. He said, if you make a mistake, if you make another mistake, there is a big, giant possibility that you're both going to get shot. Okay? He made it pretty clear. And let me remind you guys, there wasn't just one cop here. There wasn't just one cop talking. Okay? Not a hard concept.
Yes.
All right.
What the?
This is, shut up. I'm not here to be tactful or diplomatic with you. You listen, you obey. For one thing, did I tell you to move, young man?
Now, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, he's being mean. He's just want to be trigger happy, and he's just being a jerk right now. He just wants to kill people. He's not there to be diplomatic. He's there to give commands. He's there to make sure that people stay safe and they stay alive. So guess what? If a cop tells you to do something, do it. Because he's there for one reason and one reason alone, to make sure that nobody gets hurt, nobody dies. So it's not rocket science.
Man, they tell you to put both your hands, put both your hands on the top of your head and interlace your fingers. Take your feet and cross your left foot over your right foot. Who else is in the room?
Nobody.
Are you both drunk?
No.
No.
All right. So you're not going to have any problems understanding anything that I tell you, right?
Yes.
All right.
Can I go to my room?
No, you're not going to do anything but come towards us.
I'm just going to point out that he's very calm and collected right here. He's sitting there and he's being fairly cordial with these guys. He's telling them, hey, this is what I need you to do, and I'm talking to you, and so on and so forth. So again, that whole he's trigger happy thing kind of doesn't really work out.
Young man, you are not to move. You're to put your eyes down and look down at the carpet. You're to keep your fingers interlaced behind your head. You're to keep your feet crossed. If you move, we're going to consider that a threat, and we are going to deal with it, and you may not survive it. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
There you go. That's another warning. Okay, is that warning number 2? If you move, we will consider that to be a threat. Do not move, or it's going to be a threat and you might not survive. Pretty cut and dry, pretty clear. Moving on.
Young lady, shut up and listen. All right? You are to keep your feet crossed. Take both of your hands, put them flat in front of you. You are to push yourself up to a kneeling position. Kneeling position. Now, put both your hands in the air. Okay, crawl towards us.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Stop. Okay. Cuff, grab and pull.
No, Rich, pull
Pull.
him this
Rich,
way.
Pull. Let me know when you're clear. Okay, young man, listen to my instructions and do not make a mistake. You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me? Yes, sir.
To put both of your hands palms down straight out in front of you. Push yourself up to a kneeling position. I said keep your legs crossed!
But he just yelled at that poor guy. Yes, because he gave him instructions. He didn't follow them. Keep your legs crossed. Now, any of you know why you keep your legs crossed? Keeps you immobile, all right? Again, it's not a hard concept. It's why they do it. Interlock your fingers. Keep your legs crossed, okay?
Sorry.
I didn't say this in conversation. Hands in the air! Hands up in the air!
All right. For no reason whatsoever, what did he do? Put both of his hands behind his back. No reason. Right there, cops could have shot. They didn't. Did they? No, they did not. But that was perfect time. That was a perfect opportunity for the police to shoot him right then and there because both hands went behind his back for no reason, not following commands, not knowing if there was a gun in his back or not. Could have shot, but didn't.
You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand?
Please do not shoot me.
Then listen to my instructions.
You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? The kid says he understood. Okay?
Try to just do what you
Don't talk, listen!
Don't shoot me. Listen to my instructions. Don't talk, just listen. Again, basic commands, easy commands, simple commands. Just do what the cop says. Okay?
Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me?
All right. I hope y'all paid attention there. He said, if you put your hands down or in the small of your back, we are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Okay?
Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me!
Oh my goodness. Not even a second later, he puts his hands down and he doesn't get shot. He disobeyed another order from the cop and didn't get shot. Tell me again how this cop's trigger happy. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. There's no trigger happiness going on whatsoever. He gave him an order, said to keep his hands up at all times. The girl did it. The girl crawled up with her hands up the entire time. But yet the guy, he goes down on all fours. Completely the opposite of what the cop told him to do. But the cop still didn't shoot him. Still didn't shoot him. And there you have it. There you got it. There you have it, guys. It's that easy. It's that simple. He's crawling on all fours, puts his hand behind his back, The cop puts him down. Now, just in case you already forgot, they were called on scene for a gun. Kid's not complying. A lot of people put their gun, right here. It's a great place to conceal. Okay? Kid reached for it. The cop gave him how many warnings? How many chances? How many times did this cop not shoot him when, he could have, but he didn't? He gave this kid every way out. He gave this kid every possible chance to survive. The kid messed up. The cop didn't. The kid did. And the kid paid the price. It's really that simple. Don't sit there and be hypocrites. Don't sit there and say, well, if the guy would have listened, because it doesn't work. You're a hypocrite if you even think that this cop was not justified in the shooting. Because he was. His whole purpose in life is to stay alive and to make sure others stay alive. He did the right thing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He did the right thing. Sorry. Not sorry.
Free thought for free people.